We're looking here at two MS-180C Stihl chainsaws. These are 31.8 cc or 1.94 cubic inch. They have the 38 millimeter bore and they're rated at 2.0 horsepower. You can run a 12, 14, or 16 inch bar on these saws. The saw here to the right has a 16 and the one to the left has a 14. They have the 3/8 Pico .050 gauge bar and chain. Both of them have, just one's 14 and one's 16. And they both run the Pico Super square tooth full chisel chain. Most people that have these saws run a semi chisel, the round side tooth, which works okay, but the square tooth just cuts that much faster. It's easy to resharpen if you ever dull it, and it's just a really nice cutting chain. I had to special order these chains to get on mine because most of the time your dealer just sells a standard semi chisel tooth, but the full chisel, I don't run anything but full chisel on my saws. These are considered homeowner grade saws. They're not a pro saw. They're a clamshell engine design, which means your cylinder head bolts together with a little engine pan, and they have a recess for the bearings in each one, where when you bolt them together it squeezes the crank bearings in the crank, keeps them from moving, and then the rest of the saw is pretty much built around that. Now all the rest of my saws that I have are pro saws, and I prefer the pro saw design, which is a split crankcase, you know, pressed in bearings. But these right here, they're just a really nice little saw for limbing and trimming and just small trees. You know, they're not worth much for big stuff, but I've used it on stuff up to about 10-12 inch diameter wood, and it works really good for that. You just need to remember to use it as a 32 cc saw and not a 62. They're only designed to do so much, but if you keep that in mind, they'll serve you very well. Stihl has built and sold I don't know how many of these. They're just really popular. A lot of people like them. But like I said, this is the 180. These are the same saws. The exception being that the one on the right has the standard starter. You just give it a quick pull to start it, just like any other saw. And this one here to the left has that new easy start. And what that is the easy start. You just give that rope, just pull it out real easy, and you'll feel it get tight, feel it have some tension on it, and keep pulling it when it gets tight. And there's a spring in there that acts on the flywheel, and when it gets so much tension on it, that spring will release, kicking the flywheel over, starting the engine. And that's a pretty cool little feature Stihl come up with. The only thing besides that is the weight, power head weight. Now, power head weight is the weight of the saw without its bar and chain when it's empty of fuel and oil. A 180, I believe, is 8.8 pounds power head weight, and the 180 with the easy start is 9.3 pounds. So it adds, you know, probably about a half pound, a little over a half pound of weight to the saw, but it's not really noticeable. I mean, carrying both of them, you can tell a little difference, but not much. Both of them have what they call the quick chain adjuster. Now what that is, how that works, is you flip that lever out on the side and you turn it counterclockwise or backwards to loosen the side up. Then you take this black knob, twist it counterclockwise, twist it backwards, and that loosens the chain, slackens the chain off. And as you can see, twist that black one forward to tighten it up. And then when you're done, and don't forget while you're doing that to be picking up on the nose of the bar. Hold the bar nose up while you're doing that. But twist that black one forward to tighten it. When you're done, twist this lever that's still sticking out. Twist it clockwise or forward to tighten it, then flip it back into the side of it to lock it, and you're done. Pretty nice little feature Stihl made right there. Now, like I said, these are not a pro saw. They're not a big saw. They're not designed for that kind of work, but just for small jobs like, you know, cleaning out a fence row. And like I said, for trees up to about 10-12 inch diameter, they work pretty good. but you just need to remember it's a 32cc saw and not a 62. Both of these have a 6-tooth spur sprocket behind the clutch cover. Now, a spur sprocket is where the sprocket is made on the face of the clutch drum. It's all one piece, and I think you can get a 7, which will make your chain speed a little faster, but I just prefer on these little saws that 6 is better because you need all the torque you can get with these little ones. But they're just a real nice saw. They're not all that loud, and I've noticed with mine, you can see right here on them, you got a little window where you tell how much gas it has. And I've noticed with mine that you can put in a tank of oil and a tank of gas on them, and you can run for a long time with those little saws. They don't burn much gas at all. They're not too bad. But no, just a lot of people liked them, and I mean, like, you know, they're very good for a lot of little projects. And it's just a really nice little lightweight saw that's Stihl made there.